Hello, everybody from Lakeland Motor Speedway, or as some people call it, USA International Speedway. We're here for a new league here for the High Velocity TV broadcasting booth here for the Prestige Racing Series once again here at USA International Speedway. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator. And also, we have a little guest here that's going to be in here from time to time here in the booth. Mr. JJ Moore, our race control. He's also going to give us a little bit of insight. So, JJ, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Excited to see. Obviously, it's our first time here with you guys in the Cup Series, and I'm excited to see we got looks like a decent amount. At least it looks like 15 or so drivers here showing up for our clash. So, can't wait to see what these drivers can do.
Yep, definitely. I'm excited to start the next season. Just kind of a next step in the right direction.
I definitely agree. I mean, a fresh start for everybody will be just a good way to, maybe there's some past drama or something that happened. It's always good to come out here with a fresh season, fresh slate, hopefully for a lot of these drivers, and come out here and put on some good racing here at USA. With that, we've got about 7 minutes in practice, so we'll go on board with some of these drivers here out on the track. And honestly, you talked to me a little bit before the broadcast, Justin, and if you want to, you can take us around a couple laps here at USA and kind of show us around, show us how this track drives. Obviously, you've been very successful here in the prior seasons here in the Prestige Cup Series.
Yeah, I won the Clash here last year, Gen 6 car, which is a different car. But it's very technical track, very bumpy track, very one lane dominated. If you're not running the bottom and you're not ripping the bottom as good as you can, you're really losing speed. So it's just about getting the car slowed down into the corner, not locking up, but carrying good speed, getting the car to rotate through the exit, being careful on exit. I know for these cars, I am having to shift, so that is a little bit more technical, helping the car slow down a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's just hopefully it'll be entertaining racing. Hopefully, side by side racing will be a good key here. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but um, hopefully that outside lane will be able to hold on during the race.
I definitely agree. I hope that we can get side by side, and with a little bit of the banking in the corners, I think it will help with these cars. Obviously, these flatter style tracks like the Martinsville, the Homesteads, those haven't been the best racing here, especially in this next gen era. But you know, USA does have a little bit of banking. It can help some of these drivers maybe go up there try to search for some grip and get some stuff up there. And looking into the session, I did a couple laps myself, and I agree. The shifting is going to be huge, especially because iRacing doesn't have a set for this track, so we're using the LA Coliseum setup, which is obviously a lot shorter than here at Lakeland.
Yeah, that's I didn't know exactly what setup we were using, but if it is the LA Coliseum, that's definitely it's a good and bad comparison in a way. The track's kind of similar with the turns almost in a way with how sharp they are. But the banking is a little off. Just first initial laps, doesn't really feel bad. The rear end does really like to step out on corner exit, obviously with the shifting. But you will have to shift just to get rotation. I was struggling to slow the car down, even just without shifting.
Yeah, I agree. I ran a couple laps here to get prepared here. We don't think this is our first race we've ever called here at USA International, so I went and did some homework and ran some laps here. And yeah, I mean, I was even going down if I needed to all the way down to third, which is something you don't see a lot, even at these short tracks. Is double shifting, double downshifting, and for me at least to help get that car slowed down and rotate enough, I was shifting all the way down to the third, and just because the setup really isn't made for here. LA is a lot shorter of a track and it's a lot flatter. I mean, you're going around literally a stadium versus here where there's quite a bit of banking, especially in the corners, and it's you know definitely makes the car a little bit more unsettling getting down on those brakes.
Yep, definitely.
Well, with about a little under 4 minutes left in practice, we'll go through we'll bring up the ticker for the first time. Bring up your fastest in practice right now, Wyatt Youngblood. Currently, your fastest practice, see him take a spin down out of 4, and just like as JJ was talking about, you know, it's gonna get loose out of the corners with just the way the car drives here with the set, and you see him take a tumble. Andrew Penold, that's not right, and the 51 is gonna be P2, and we're looking at him right now, Tyler Curley, that $43 General Jolly Tree car, P3, Dorian Davis, P4, and Alex Eskridge, and that number 45 backmarker machine, P5.
Yeah, Alex is the defending champion. He won the championship last year. I know for the class he was really fast last year. Tenold was really fast last year. So just based off prior experience with drivers I know from here, be on the lookout for those two being really fast tonight.
It's always good to, you know, especially for these new fans at home that are new to HVTV. It's nice to see that they have someone like you in the booth who can kind of give out the eyes of who to look for. You know, I'm personally gonna look out for Tyler Curley. I mean, I've raced with him a lot, and I know he can be quick. Obviously, there's a reason he's third on the board, but looks like that number 51's really quick. It looks like he can be quick, and obviously 45, last year's winner, looking pretty quick there in P5.
Yep, definitely.
Let's see what's else on the track right now. You got Reeve Simmons, number 67 machine. Now he's P12. Best time of a 21.4. Definitely would probably like to get a little bit more speed out of that. Obviously, some of these guys up here, 1 and 2 right now, are in the 18s. Everybody else hasn't even cracked the 19s yet. So I don't know if those are legitimate laps. There might be some wall popping laps potentially. But right now, it looks like the majority of the field in the high 20s, low 21s, I would say. So, we try to find some more drivers. Got Justin Wilkes, his number 93 machine, running some laps out. And with the track like this, with the different setup, with, you know, a new track, right? I don't. Besides, you know, maybe some of the guys who've been here a lot, probably aren't used to running this track a whole lot, especially in the next gen at that. These practice laps are going to be a key thing, especially with how short these heats are going to be. To see how much you can get out of these cars, because you can't really afford. I mean, with only what I think 5-6 lap heats, there's not really going to be any tire wear. It's just going to be who can, you know, set down the laps the fastest and who can really get on the power the hardest and get out in front.
Yeah, there's not going to be much saving during the 6 laps. You'll probably see a bunch of people be moved. Bunch of aggressive trying to get up to the front. I know last year at the Clash we didn't necessarily have the heat racing, but we definitely had short runs with the cautions, and it just brings a whole nother intensity. The cautions really bunch everybody back up, and especially here at the short track, you can hopefully stay double file for a good bit of the lap, and just have good clean racing. People maybe moving each other out the way, just kind of beating and banging on each other like normal short track would.
That's what we're hoping for. Some, you know, classic short track racing. I mean, it's, in my opinion, as a broadcaster, someone who's raced, you know, I when it comes to short tracks, you know, you're gonna get that bumper put to you sometime. With it, whether it's in the heat, whether it's in the race, you know, for a spot, it's gonna be expected, especially how hard it is to pass here in these next gen cars. That all said and done, Wyatt Youngblood, fastest in practice. You got that 51 of Penold, and that he was going to take P3, and Tyler Curley running out your podium for practice. With all that all said and done, we'll head into qualifying and see what kind of lap times some of these guys can put down. So we got the 55 of Gabriel Gulli, his floor racing machine. Come out here, coming out of 4. Remember, these drivers get 2 laps, 2 set at a time, so you might see a lot of these drivers kind of get this warm-up lap in, and then that second lap will either go lap. So see what this 55 decides to do. Really with a 21.19, 159. That's a pretty good lap for him. Alex Grid, your last year's winner, gonna take the pole for now. The 21.039. Good lap for
Not to
him.
be bossy, I did win the Clash last year. He won the championship.
Won the championship. My apologies. Well, there you go.
Sorry, I just had
No, no.
to state my slate real
you, you,
quick.
you
Sorry.
are. You're more than welcome to correct me here. Want to get the facts right here for these fans at home. Or see
I will
your.
be making fun of the guys that have run here. You will hear me crack some jokes on the guys that I know. I know a good bit of these guys with racing on them on track and just off track, just hanging out with them. So if I do crack some jokes about them maybe being a little off pace or a little slow, just don't mind me. It's a little friendly competition.
Yeah, just a part of the game, right? When you race with these guys, you get to know them and everything else. You can see the one getting the wall there. Wyatt Youngblood, though, with a 21.275, good enough for P8. But when you're racing with these guys, you know, you build that connection. And I mean, it's kind of natural, right? When you see someone you know very well, you know, it's always fun to make a jab or two. So. And Dorian Davis out on track in that number 88 machine. He'll start his first lap coming out of 4. You can hear I'm kind of babying with the throttle on exit, just trying to quick as much as you can out of this lap time and out of this car, but trying to be patient with it, not to spin it out.
Great first lap from him right there.
Yeah, 21.068, good enough for P4, and he's still got one more if you can get anything more out of this car. There you go, a little bit better. P2 on the board for Kendorian, 20.986. Good lap for that driver.
Yeah, great lap. I know last year, obviously different car, but he was struggling around here in the Gen 6, just struggling with rotation. I know the Gen 6 was a lot looser than the next gen. His next gen seemed very planted and almost snappy loose. The Gen 6 would just slide through the whole corner. So some of the guys maybe last year are maybe kind of expecting a tighter race car. Maybe we can help them out, give them a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, the next gen just drives, you know, completely different than a lot of these drivers are used to. I mean, it drives nothing like anything else on the sim, like you said, AJ, where it's kind of tight and then out of nowhere it'll just kind of lose it, come out from right from underneath you. Versus like the Gen 6, like you said, where you can kind of feel it when you're pushing too hard and you kind of really lean on it a lot more than in this car. And you just saw with Jeffrey right here, with that snappy loose, how it can affect the car. I mean, you saw he tried to push it in a little bit too hard out of 4 and spun it around and got the best of him right there. But right now, P13 for this number 42 machine. Looks like he's gonna park it down pit road. Nicholas Amons in this 09 Skittles machine coming out to make his laps. I don't know if he's gonna get any though. 16 seconds left in qualifying. I think he'll have enough time to make a lap. We'll see. It's gonna be close. He gets one down at least. Nothing for that 09. So looks like we had about 4 drivers who decide not to set a lap. So they will start from the rear and last in these heat races. It's gonna be interesting to see how they can drive through the field. I'll wait on these drivers to load into their cars. Obviously, we try to explain this the best we can to the fans at home, but especially here in this next gen, there's a lot of things you can do to change how this car is going to drive, especially in these heats. You can change, you know, the steering ratio, which is where, you know, the car is going to be more responsive or less responsive. Obviously, there's the brake bias you can change. And there's obviously the MCs, which is something that is completely new, the NASCAR world in general. You know, the next gen's the only car that has these MCs that you can adjust on these cup cars, and we're gonna let these guys get ready to go. But we are gonna get your starting grid up here for this first heat. And Dorian Davis in the 88 is gonna be your first in this heat one with oh, we will just go off of this as ATVO is not showing it right. Nicholas Road gonna be P2, Gabriel Goli P3, Zachary Beekman P4, White Youngblood P5, Justin Wilkes, number 93 is gonna be P6, Brian White P8, Zachary Emerson P9, and Zachary Trevino. The number 8 machine will be no P7. Zachary has not joined the session, has not gotten the car yet, so. Like I said, we'll wait on these guys. Looks like we're waiting on that 8 machine to load into his position, and we'll start this 6-lap heat race. And like JJ said, we're expecting, especially for some of these guys to, towards the back, to maybe start to be a little bit more aggressive to move their way in. I think it's top 5 in each heat make it through. So it's going to be, you know, a dogfight. And then there's, at least right now, 9 cars. So there's going to be 4 people that will have to go to the consolation. Well, yeah, it looks like Trevino does not load in the session, so that will be a free spot for some of these drivers. They'll be thinking that number 8 machine. But yeah, four cars will have to go through the consolation and get back into this race, so it'll be interesting to see who's going to be aggressive to try to make up some spots and who's going to maybe wait for those guys to maybe put the bumper to someone and kind of go around it. We'll see Chevy front row, the 88 and the 3 will lead us to green, and then a Toyota packs that second row with that 55 and that 95 of Beekman. And I got your fast 4. Your lights off on the pace car, which will mean we'll be going green this time to start your first heat of the night. And this is going to be a big learning experience for these guys in these other heats, you know. I guarantee you some of these guys in this first heat probably wasn't very happy that he got, you know, that drawn out of this like unlucky hat, right? They kind of have to figure out how this track is going to race for the first time. And these other guys can sit back, watch this heat, do some homework, and see, you know, what they can do to learn here. See, coming into the restart zone, 88 and a 3 going to lead us to green. You said the 88 get out to a pretty sizable lead as the 55 is going to take advantage. Going to try to be side by side with the 3 machine. Side by side for that P2 position. The 3's starting to get used up a little bit on the top. 55 is going to try to clear going into 3 and 4, as he will. That one's going to try to sneak his nose in there. Going to try to take away that. And that 3 just trying to hold on for dear life on the top. I mean, we talked about it with this new next gen car. It's going to be hard to, you know, make passes on the top. As you see him finally get down, is the 1 going to actually get past the 55? He's going to move himself up into the P2 spot. Youngblood up to the P2 spot, up 3 spots from where he started, and now a battle for the P3 position. Maybe no. The car cannot get there. Really, this battle is going to be for this P5 and final transfer spot. A 93 is going to have to try to run down Zachary Beekman. Nothing of it yet. Just that 93 does not have the pace right now to get to the back end of that 95. Not even to give him a bumper yet. We'll go back up here. Battle for the P.
Big slide from the 95.
Yeah, big slide. Caution's going to be out. We'll have to rack him again. Go back and take a look at that on the HVTV replay. We'll just see. Again, we talked about it in the pre-race. It's going to be easy for these cars to just, I mean, just got on the power a little bit too early. 95. Slid it, tried to correct it, overcorrected, and gonna kill that inside wall. So a lot of damage in 95, but obviously I have a couple laps to maybe make up some spots. I mean, he looked like he was solidly in that P5 position, but tried to push it just a little bit too hard. And spin around, you see a lot of left front damage to that machine.
Yeah, I'm sure he was sitting fifth, like you said. The transfer spot's fourth to make it onto the main race, get locked into the main race. So I'm sure he was just pushing, trying to get into the top four, and just like you said, just kind of lost it.
I mean, these drivers are going to want to be in that top four because they do not want to have to race in the consolation where one person gets out of the consolation of the come and race in the big show at the end of the night here. So you're going to see that happen probably in a lot of the times here in these heats because, I mean, if you can lock your way into there, you don't have to worry about racing that consolation. You can sit back, watch the rest of these heats, and know that you're in the show. See that 93 in the back there. Honestly, not too bad for that machine. I'm not sure if they got a fast repair for these heat races or not. It looks like he's got a brand new car.
Yeah, they do have one fast repair.
That would make sense. So 95 came down, got his fast repair. He's going to come back on track. I mean, he's in the 8th spot, but it looked like he had some decent speed underneath him, but he will have to be aggressive to get back up into that P5 spot or whatever to lock his way in. If anything, they just make up spots to put himself further up in that consolation LCQ to point his way into the big race. Now, obviously, not what Beekman wanted to see there, but yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, track is tricky, especially with like we talked about with the setup. Not really made for this track. You're gonna see some mistakes when you're pushing that hard. We will have another restart, so things could happen here. Obviously, we could see these front four just kind of sit in line and be content where they are, but we might also see some aggressiveness to maybe by that guy in the fifth position back there. That's the 93 of Wilkes, right? Didn't show to have the best speed until we got that caution. Maybe he knows that this is his time to maybe be aggressive with the bumper there, but single foul. We're back green for overtime here in Heat 1.
We'll see here if that 93 gets aggressive with the 3 trying to get into that transfer spot or not.
Now we're going to look at this 93 coming to the white flag. Those kind of the top 3 have gotten away. Can the 93 get to the 3 enough to even do anything with them? Try to arc this corner out, get a good run down the straight, and not going to happen. Honestly, that 95 is closing in on the 93. He's going to try to make a move. If he's going to make it work. 93's way out of the groove, and that's going to about a 95 to get past. So he'll be P5, so I think that'll put him on the pole for the LCQ, which is good. So he did what he needed to at least mitigate the damage from that wreck. But Kendorian Davis, your first winner of Heat 1, I'll put him in a good spot for the main race. Now moving on to Heat 2. We got some new people in here. Jake Collins is going to be your pole sitter for the second heat. Alex Eskridge looks like a potential favorite for this race. Going to be on the outside of that front row. Andrew Tenold also looked like he was quick in practice. Going to be P3. Brock Whitner, P4. Reeve Simmons, P5. Jeffrey Eric going to round out row 3 in that 6th position. And then Nicholas Amons and Eli McDonald going to be 7th and 8th here for this second heat. Waiting on Eli to get into his car if he wants to race. That's that. be ready for the second heat. Now, looking at this 45, we talked about how he's going to be potentially a favorite. He will be starting on the top, so not the preferred lane on the start here. So I want to see if maybe someone with a little bit more pace can maybe make this top work a little bit better than some of the guys in this first heat. You know, Alex seems like he's got the pace to maybe be able to move around and find speed up there. But we'll see if this back marker can, take advantage of this front row, or if he's going to have to kind of sit back in line and kind of force his way into this bottom line and hope not to lose too many spots.
Yeah, just looking at it from the first heat, it kind of just looked like the top lane. You could kind of get it into the corner, but mid-corner, just the distance you travel. It's just the distance you travel and the speed you got to slow down for mid-corner. The way you don't hit the wall and the exit, kind of just so much. But interested to see if Alex will either be aggressive to get down from that top, or if he'll just try and roll the top and make it work.
That's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, we saw, like you said, the top not up at the preferred lane, and it's kind of luck of the draw here where you go. It's not qualifying where you can kind of see where you want to go. It's kind of wherever you qualify, and then you kind of get put into a hat and get sorted into different heats. It's just not really telling where you're going to be, and fortunately for this 45, gets stuck on the top here, but luckily, he's leading the top, so if he can get down early, if he cannot make that top work, I think he could keep himself back in contention here. Pace car pulls off. Toyota front row for this heat too. We're green once again. Not the best jump by the 51. I thought it was going to allow the 45 to get clear, but no. 45 trying to be a little bit more cordial. That's going to put him side by side with the 67 machine. 67 is going to clear. Now the 45 in the battle with this DeWalt machine. He needs to get clear now. He's going to drive it in the quarter to try to get clear there, as he does. A spin. 51's going to go around. Take a look back and see what happened. But the 51, yeah, just gets tagged by the 67. They come down and clip the DeWalt machine. You see the 42, the 45, I believe. That's a 42. Kind of spin it down the track, trying to avoid the wreck. And I mean, we saw it, and we talked about it earlier. I mean, that's what's going to happen in these heats. You're going to see some bumpers get put to someone if they think they're slower and they are trying to hold someone up. You're going to see people do that. You're going to see people be aggressive to try to get around here. And that will bring out the caution.
Yeah, but I will say, just watching that restart there, or that initial start, Alex was definitely struggling. Even though he had the opportunity to go down, I think, in a turn one, he got kind of stuck on the top, and he was definitely struggling to get the car to slow down into the corners. I noticed he was kind of sending it a little deeper, washing up the track mid-corner, it looked like.
Yeah, I did notice that. I mean, and we talked about it. I don't know if some drivers going to try to take advantage of the third gear. For me, I felt like you could use it, but I feel like it bogged you down a lot, way too much in the corner. So, with the setup, you're upshifting to at least fifth down the straights and downshifting all the way to potentially third for some drivers, probably fourth for some others. And even then, downshifting in the fourth, you really had to be on the binders to not overdrive the cornering. And like you said, JJ, it seemed like 45 was having some issues with that. So we'll see. Some of these drivers are, my opinion, we had a couple of laps there. Drivers are gonna. That was a good learning experience, right? It wasn't all the laps and then a green white checkered where it was all men for themselves, everybody fends for themselves. It was, and we got 2 laps, and some of the drivers got to see, how this car is gonna drive, and now they can take the notes that they had and bring it in and see what they can do to adjust to not overdrive the corner like that. Because obviously, if the 45 continues to do that, I mean, it's going to put him at risk to get taken advantage of when he is washing up the track. But lights are off on the pace car once again. 81. Jake Collins has led every lap here in this second heat. I think we're going. I'm not sure what we're doing here. We went single file last time. It looks like we're trying to go double file now. But regardless, green back here in the second heat. The battle for the P2 position. The 45 trying to look on the bottom of the 67 machine. The 67 trying to fight tough on the top. I think the 45 is going to get clear now. The 51. They try to take advantage. Side by side for that P3 position. The 51 will clear. Now it's going to be a battle between this 4th and 5th. Can the 20 of Brock get to the back end of this 51? Not quite. Go back to this battle up here. 51 all over the back end of Alex here. Will he try to do something, or is he content riding at 3rd? I mean, if it's me, I'm just going to ride around right now. No really competition right now. It looks like 4th place is basically locked out.
Yeah, main event's 100 laps. I would definitely say if you're 2nd or 3rd, you just be cruising right now. No real need to go fight for a spot, possibly wreck.
Yeah, well, white flag in the air here. Jake Collins cruising away. No competition here. Going at 3 and 4. 81 machine's gonna win heat 2. Alex Eskridge, Andrew Tenold, and Reese Simmons gonna lock their way into the main event. So, no contact. And the 09, the 20, and the 42 gonna have to race their way into the LCQ. We are ready for
I forgot that the heat racing, they will skip the consolation, so everyone will be driving.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So no LCQ. Everybody makes it in.
Yeah, kind of wasn't necessarily expecting that, but you know, what's the difference between 9 drivers being on track and 17? I don't see any, so always fun to have a little bit more people, maybe get some better racing, possibly.
I definitely agree. I mean, the more drivers we can have, honestly, I mean, I would hate to, you know, put someone in the spot to where, like, you know, there's only, you know, I think, what, 17-ish cars on track just to tell them they can't race just because they didn't make it, right? So, honestly, I think that's a good call by the admins and everybody else, and we do have 5 minutes, a little bit of a warm-up for these drivers to, you know, actually race side by side with people, figure out, especially, I mean, it's nighttime here now at Lakeland. It's definitely going to drive a little bit different than in the daytime where it's a little bit more, maybe a little bit more hot and slick.
Hello, Mr. Beekman. Mr. Beekman is the league owner. I saw him join with us
Hello.
here.
So I just wanted to clear some things up. iRacing apparently did not want to do double file restarts, even though we put in the command to do it. So for next season, I don't think we're going to be doing heat racing for the Clash because it just caused a lot of problems. Apparently we skipped the consolation, so I don't even know if I'm in the race or, yeah.
Yeah, it would whatever qualifying order would pretty much be, would be the starting order.
Yeah. Alrighty, I just wanted to come in here and clear that up. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Zach, for the clarification. It was definitely a little interesting up here in the booth trying to figure out what was going on. So.
Yeah, I figured I'd come in here and clear some things up because yeah, that was not how the heat racing was supposed to go. So, but well, you know, we're a brand new league, you know, season 2, so we're still learning things. But next season, most definitely, there will probably not be heat racing for the Clash.
Well, I mean, growing pains, everybody's got to go through them, so I think it's completely understandable.
Exactly. Alrighty, you guys enjoy the show. You know, we'll try to put on a good one for you.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Yep, thank you, Zach. Looking at the warm-up right now, looks like Trevino at the top of the board right now. He's looking really fast after not putting down a quali lap.
Yeah, Trevino, I mean, I guess you got lucky, right, with everybody making it in. It was always gonna get a little upset there, but yeah, everybody getting in, regardless of doing that LCQ or doing the heat racing, you know, got lucky there, and looks like, I mean, like you said, looking pretty quick here in the warm-up laps. You got Jake Collins in P2. Obviously, we saw him win that second heat. You see him also lose. I think right now you're starting to see the drivers learn that the track's a lot colder and it's a little bit more squirrely on the exit. I mean, you know, you would think, you know, with the coldness, it would grip up the track a little bit more, but, you know, especially here with these next gens, I've figured that, you know, when it gets cold, you know, I feel like you actually do need the heat in the track for these next gen cars for it to drive a little bit better. When the track's cold, and it just feels like an ice skating rink sometimes out here, especially on these short tracks.
Just based on the results as of now, just looking at people that are fast, someone to look out for that I saw look pretty fast in that first heat was Wyatt Youngblood. He started 5th. Obviously, he's on the inside line, but worked his way up to 2nd. So he definitely got some pace. He's just got to get track position to do it.
I agree. He looked pretty quick. I mean, he worked his way back up. You know, obviously, a 6-lap little feature and isn't really going to tell us a lot, but it did tell us enough that he knows how to work your way around people and make passes and stuff, which is going to be huge. I mean, if you know how to pass and you can figure out how to pass here at a track like USA, I mean, it's going to definitely pay off a lot of dividends, because you know, you could be quick, but if you don't really know how to race and pass these guys, it's going to be a tough night for you here with this 100-lap feature. Tyler Curley goes to the front of the board here with a 20.7. So he's going to dethrone Zachary Trevino for the fastest on track. Once again, the 81 here of Jake Collins, P3. And as we just talked about him before, Wyatt Youngblood going to be 4th and fastest in this little heat warm-up. But now, you know, we saw some racing earlier with these heats. Now it's time for the big show as we get ready to get your starting grid underway from USA for the starting grid here for the Backmarker Clash. See Tyler Curley going to be your pole sitter for tonight's race. And Kendorian Davis going to be P2. The 81 of Collins and Rhodes going to round out row 2. Row 3 is going to be Eskridge with goalie in that number 55 machine. Penold and Beekman going to round out row 4. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Whitner and Youngblood, their 9th and 10th. Simmons and Wilkes going to be row 6 with Herrick and Trevino. Row 7 is going to be interesting to see if he can drive through the field, that number 8 machine. Moore and White going to be rounding out row 8. And then Amos Emerson in row 9. And rounding out the field is going to be McDonald's on that number 73 machine. But 100 laps here at USA. Take a look at your race weather for tonight's race. 82 degrees. With an 85-degree track temp, a little bit of humidity, and really no wind, partly cloudy. So a great night for racing here in Lakeland, Florida, and you know, it's going to be an exciting one. 100 laps here at USA International. That all said and done, you're going to see the lights are off on the pace car, which means we'll do one more raid lap. And then we'll be going green here at Lakeland. I'm excited. I mean, you know, short track racing is always fun to see here, you know, in these next gen and with the Cup Series, right? I mean, it's cool to see that we're going to like short tracks instead of just going straight into Daytona. You know, obviously Daytona, the World Center of Racing, But it's all fun to see, you know, these guys, you know, get their elbows out, race a little bit harder than you have to do at Daytona, and you know, actually kind of work for this win. 100 laps, it's not going to be easy with how hard they're going to have to drive these cars.
Yep, definitely. I'm excited to see. I'm excited for season 2. Let's get this stuff underway.
Season 2 and ready to come to fruition as we're green here from Lakeland. Big jump by the 43 already, and you're already starting to see some of those guys on the top having trouble. Dorian Davis already falling back. Gonna give the 81 that P2 position with the 1 of White Youngblood already starting to drive through the field. He's gonna cross over that 81. Gonna be battled for that P2 position. Side by side, and the 1's gonna clear. He's gonna move his way up into the P2. Alex Eskridge up into the P4 position.
Big battling back here in the back.
Oh!
They're 3 wide for a brief second.
Is the 1 has a mistake. Trying to find Wyatt as he falls down the ticker. Looks like Brian White also with an issue. Take a look and see what happened to this number 1 machine. Looks like middle of 3 wide. It's clear. So this is the move for this P2 position. Saw this live. It's around the 81. I think the 81 was just trying to be, it looks like he's trying to be patient. He knows that the top's not working. Doesn't want to, you know, put himself in a bad spot. The 1 coming into 3 and 4. Oh, it gets the apron. Look at what happens. Locks it down. Same thing. It looks like, you know, for the 84, gets a little bit loose out of 4. But they both keep it off the wall. I guess best case scenario for both those drivers. Lap 4 of 100 under caution here. For the first time at USA International Speedway, and we've already started to see some shakeups. Obviously, we just saw, you know, Wyatt Youngblood went from P2 now all the way back, the back half of the top 10, actually in 10th place right now. That's a huge shakeup, but we already have some drivers start to move their way through the field. And Dorian Davis, you know, lost a couple spots, but is sitting back there in P5. We started, you know, outside pull, but we've seen already how, you know, bad that top has been, at least on the start. You know, if you kind of suck up there, you kind of just have to give up the spot. Hopefully you can duck in line sooner or later and, you know, put a Band-Aid on that situation. See the 88 right there. Then P5, we'll go through your field backwards here. You see the 51, gonna be that 4th place machine. 45 of Alex, maybe P3. Jake Collins, P2, and it looks like Tyler Curley, your race leader, is gonna pick the top here for this restart.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. I'm hoping he plans on getting a really big jump. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work for him, but I guess we'll see.
We'll definitely see here as we see the 45 and then 81 Toyota front row. Toyota locks out the front 4. We're green once again, and as we thought, huge jump out of that 43. We're side by side. No, not side by side anymore. The 81 is going to get clear. The 51, a single file for this top 5. We are single file, double file back here is a 91, 93 trying to hemorrhage some of those spots away. And Dorian Davis getting looked underneath by the 95. Zachary Beekman looking underneath the 88. He's going to make that pass work. And it seems like right now it's just a battle figuring at the bottom. If you're on that top, you're just kind of forced to sit there and hope that maybe the bottom makes a mistake to get you clear. But you see right now, side by side, 88 versus the 93. Oh, some contact between those two. That's going to allow the 55 to take advantage. Oh, the 88's around.
That was a little bit weird of a wreck, but yeah.
Look at this. Looks like some contact between the 93. I don't know if that's what kind of caused all this, maybe. I mean, obviously the contact shot the 88 up the track, and it looks like the 67 of Siemens gets in the back at 88. Like Trevino gets a little bit of it as well. And once again, it's the same thing we saw in that second heat. Just someone getting in the back of someone else and just kind of lifting their rear end off the ground and nowhere to go. But the 8 machine, and obviously see the 88, turn around here. A little bit of damage to that left side as well. But that will bring out the caution once again here at USA. Tyler Curley continues the lead here.
Yeah, just looking back at it, it kind of just looks like the 93 kind of moved him up the track, and Ken obviously had to check up at that point, not hit the wall. And it kind of looked like the 67 was just out of the throttle the entire point. Just couldn't really get the car to slow down enough, and then we got into the left rear and just hooked them.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about... Yeah, I mean, definitely nothing intentional, but we talked about it in the pre-race, how hard it is to get these cars slowed down. We saw it in that heat with the 45 of Alex. He was kind of driving it in and kind of floating it up the track. And I feel like we're going to be battling that all race, where someone's going to drive it in just a little bit too deep, and there's nothing they can do. I mean, they're going to probably get in the back of someone, and it might cause a wreck, it might not. But, I mean, with the setup the way it is, it's, you got to really be disciplined on getting this car slowed down. Not only to take care of yourself, but to take care of the cars around you.
Yeah, some things to point out just through the top 10. Right now, Trevino is actually sitting in the top 10 after starting at the tail end of the field. So he's looking really fast. Both Justin Wilkes and Zachary Beekman are up 4 spots, and Andrew Tennell are up 4 spots from their original starting spot. So they're all 3 looking fast as well.
You started to see the kind of the cream rise at the top already. We saw that Beekman look pretty quick, but unfortunately, made a mistake in the heat, put himself, a little bit farther behind when it came to starting position here in the race, and starting to make some spots up. We talked about Trevino moving his way up to the field. Looks like just a little bit of right front damage after getting caught up in that wreck involving the 67 and 88, but honestly, I mean, you're not at the end of this race, if you're not really scraped up and tore up, you're probably not doing something right, unless you're like this 43 and have led every lap.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll still see him scraped up on the right side a little bit, just bopping the wall in the corner exits.
I guarantee you we're going to have so everybody's going to be scraped at the end here, but going back, Green, the 43 is going to lead us back. Another great jump by Curley as the 81's going to jump back out. 45 going to tuck back in line, and now side by side back here for the P4 position. That's the 3 of Nicholas Rhodes.
Oh, big crash.
Wrecking it back once again. And Youngblood once again in the middle of it. Tough night for him. We'll take a look. Oh man, so you saw the one try to dip out of lane there, got a shot, and then he kind of got shot into the 55, and then once again the 67 in the back of another car, and holy, what a collision by the one machine. Saw Trevino once again in it. Oh man, getting hit by the 42. You see the 88 once again in it. Yeah, just looking back at that again, looks like once again the 67 having an issue getting slowed down just a little bit. Gonna get in the back end of the one and send him for a ride. And there he goes through. So caution number 3 on lap 16 of 100, and you'd figure, yeah. Now we've wrecked a couple times. You figure, some of these guys would have just a little bit more patience and just figure, we're not even a quarter of the way done. We gotta. If we want a chance to, even have a chance to run down this 43, we can't be pacing for We gotta get some green flag laps to maybe get some tire wear under our belt to maybe see if someone can come in and run down this race leader. But looking at some of the facts, you know, of the race here, we will be getting a stage caution at lap 50, so that's something to look forward to, everybody at home. And basically, you know, for a pre-warner, I guess, you know, Zachary told me before, you know, we signed the contract, is that we'll probably be getting the stage around, you know, it's going to be based off of fuel mileage, is what he told me. So whenever we're around the time of where we have to pit for fuel for the first time is when we're going to get a stage caution for every race. So that's going to be something interesting. But also, you know, something to talk about here is we're only running, you know, 50% fuel here in the Prestige Cup Series. So that's going to be interesting. You know, no fast repairs. So a lot of those drivers like the one. It's going to be it's going to be a long night for them having to, you know, they're going to have to bank on some cautions to hopefully come down and get some damage fixed. Obviously, a short track, so as long as it's just some fender and some just minor damage, I don't think it's going to affect them that much. But as soon as they get any suspension, toe damage, any wheel damage, it's going to be a long night for those guys. Once again, coming into the restart zone, the 43 once again leads us back to green. Another great jump by the 43 is 81 and then 51 side by side for this P2 position. The 67 knocked the ball down. Caution out once again.
Looks like the 20 of Brock Whitmer.
It is the Stillwalt machine. Like, has some front end damage to this machine. We'll take a look and see what happened to Brock. Coming into the start here. Brock on this top lane. He's gonna get around us. 84 and oh, maybe some kind. He might have got some help. Take a different look at this from our chopper cam, maybe. And see if give us a little bit of an, yeah, he definitely got some help by the 84. Got into that left rear and he's gonna go crashing into the inside wall. Gets a little dimple on the front nose. I don't think it should affect the steering at all. Doesn't look like it could have been a lot worse, but I don't see any steering damage on that machine. At least it seems like here up here in the broadcast booth. But yeah, that'll definitely be a caution once again. Just maybe a little bit of miscalculation of when someone's clearing when they're not. But caution out once again at USA. 21 complete. We see the 43 continue to lead us. I think he's led every lap here. Yeah, 20 of 22. I mean, we'll give it to him. 21 of 22. So Tyler right now, at least for the time being, putting on the clinic. Right now the clinic has just been who can have the best restart. But we'll see, you know, as some guys get some laps under the belt, I feel like they're going to start to figure out what needs to be done and how they need to handle these restarts. See the one car getting his lap back. Lucky dog for this #1 machine of Youngblood. Like he's got most of that damage fixed as well. He did use that fast repair, so that would make sense. The like if I, you know, JJ, if I'm one of these drivers, do you go ahead and use this fast repair this early in the race, or do you try to stick it out and try to just kind of limp it around even if you need to, and try to save this fast repair for later in the race? Obviously, we're not even halfway done.
Well, it kind of just depends on what scenario you're in. Like, I know Wyatt had that big caution, that big wreck, so he kind of had to use it to stay in the race. But if you got maybe a little tweak of wheel damage, maybe a little bit offset to the right or something, a little bit offset to the left, I wouldn't necessarily worry about it. I'd just kind of run it out until, I'd say, the stage brake caution. Maybe see if you can get it fixed up then.
definitely agree. We're agreeing once again, and for the 43 picks the bottom lane this time. Different strategy for him. You know, side by side back here, outside the top 3. See the 95 looking underneath the 3 machine. Nicholas Road stuck up top now. 55 is going to look side by side. Side by side for this P7 position. That's the thing I'm noticing is that, like, if you run the top enough and you think, and I think if you have a little bit of a better car, I think you can at least try to defend on this top. You've seen this 3, you know, not giving it up that easy. If you can get the run and the momentum off the top, I feel like you can make it work. Oh, here comes the 67, gonna use up the 3 a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like you were saying. I feel like there's enough people on the bottom, especially like 2nd through, I'd say 6th or 7th, that it kind of just checks up the bottom lane. And you can make that outside lane work and stick, and maybe hope on a mistake on someone on the bottom, maybe file in.
Yeah, or, you know, you talked about those checkups. You can get a checkup at the right moment, you know, it's going to probably make a hole for you to fill. And so the 3 drives it in really deep into the corner. Oh, some contact between him and the 67. Gonna get clear.
Good save there from Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves with a good save. Now he's gonna be under fire from the 09. Eamon's gonna try to make a look. Nothing of it. Oh, some contacts between the 3 and the 67. Gonna be a caution. Gotta find this 3 machine backed up here. Take a look and see what happened.
Possibly some retaliation from the 67. No.
They would look and see. You know, I was interested to see that the 67 got back to him and the 3 cleared him. Yeah, the 3 just got really loose. Yeah, just trying to save it. And he had that thing out of control out from the corner and was just trying to save it. Unfortunately, you know, it looked like it could have been bad, but unfortunately that 67 just nowhere to go. I mean, you see the 3 trying to just correct it, and then the car just yanks to the right. And unfortunately, Reeves into 67, nowhere to go. Man. That will be a caution. Honestly, see if we can get a different look at this 3 machine. Yeah, the damage looks... Honestly, not. He's going to use that fast repair now. See some drivers down pit road. That's the 3, the 67. I think that's the 84 and the 42 down pit road. But they decide to come down. Looks like take some tires. Interesting strategy call. I mean, we have, I think, 3 extra sets or 3 or 4 extra sets of tires down in the pit. So, I mean, we've hit that lap 25 mark. So if you want to, you know, split your tires into quarters, then I guess it's a perfect time to come down. We got that caution. Come down, take some fresh Goodyear tires, top off on some Sunoco fuel. Guess it's, you know, good, if you want to do that, that's a good time to come do it. We're starting to tick down, under 20 to go until we get that stage caution at halfway for this race. So I don't imagine a lot of these guys coming down until that stage caution, unless you've got some damage, maybe you need to repair. But you see this 43 continuing the lead here. You know, he's gotten lucky with the way these cautions have come. He's had great restarts since the drop of the green flag and has been able to keep this lead. Jake Collins looks also really strong. I just, you know, it's so hard to restart when the leader has the jump, especially when the leader picks the top. I feel like when the leader picks the top all the time, and for me personally, it makes it really hard to gauge when he can go without, you know, getting a penalty. But the 81 looks really strong. We saw the 95 look pretty strong there as well. You see him back there in P5. The 51, you know, is driven up into P3, and obviously you see the 45 up there in that P4 position. Pace car's off once again. That 43 to 81 going to lead us back to green once again. 20 to go. Give that 19 to go until we get that stage caution. There's a battle for this P2 spot. The 45 trying to make this top work. Trying to get around to 81. Get to run. Still side by side. Oh, sideways, and the 51's gonna get tagged. No caution yet. There it is. Caution out. We saw live what happened here. It looks like just a 45. And a little squirrely on exit, trying to stay on the outside of the 81. Fortunately gets into the 51 there. And that's just something with these next gen cars. I feel like, you know, when you get tagged like in that right front area, it really just snaps that car out of control. There's nothing really that Andrew could do there. You know, it's weird to think that, you know, in my opinion, like you would think that the car who kind of jerks it down the track would maybe get hooked off the nose of the 51. But here in the sim, it's pretty notorious that especially in these next gen cup cars, that as soon as if you get hit down the track, usually you're the one who's getting spun down the track, unfortunately. But looks like really no damage on this 51, which is good to hear. I mean, he's got a fast car underneath him. Now he's just gonna have to drive through the field, get that track position back.
Yeah, two things I would like to note. Firstly, I want to hell of a job for saving it. Kind of pulled a Jimmy Johnson at Dover. Kind of kept it out of the wall there. Didn't hit anybody up going back up the track, so that was pretty good. And then the other thing to note, I think a lot of the spins we're getting now is kind of subsequent for the fact that we're constantly heating up the tires and cooling them back off. You know what I'm saying? You're not really building core temperature, you're kind of building more outside temperature, and just with cold core temperature, it kind of just the rear end's still very loose, the tires are still very very chilled and very on edge. I feel like if we get like 10 to 15 laps of green flag racing, I think we'd be good, but kind of just these cold core tires are kind of killing everybody right now.
Well, yeah, and I don't think it definitely doesn't help that when we get these cautions, it just stacks everybody back up, right? And everybody's on top of each other and everything else, not including, you know, the cold tires and all and just the ill handling cars. It seems like we've lost our race leader. Hopefully, oh, there he comes back. I don't think that definitely helps. Just, you know, when we get the cautions, we stack everybody back up and force everybody to race around each other. You know, I feel like if we can get, you know, that long green flag run, and, you know, it will start to spread everybody out and people can kind of find their rhythm, find their pace. But, you know, as soon as we get a caution, you know, it kind of resets, right? And that rhythm that some of these drivers might have, it just goes away because they're forced to sit in line and pace. And then, you know, it's hard to, you know, just run laps and then just like that have to reset every time. And it's difficult, especially at a short track like this, where, you know, not only is the setup not really made for this track, but, you know, the track in itself is not the easiest to get around. See the pace car take a hard left turn once again. Tyler Curley gonna pick the top. Gonna get a good jump once again, and we're green once again here. '81 looking underneath the 95. They clear. Now single file from the top 5. Have the 55 around. You're gonna save it for now. It's 3 wide behind, and there goes the 84. I don't know if that's going to be a caution. He's going to get it pulled back around. Yeah, we're going to keep a green here at Lakeland. Unfortunate for that 84. We're coming to 10 laps to that stage caution.
There is a rule, 2 car spins in here, so that does suck for Brian. Sucks that he was the only one involved in it, but hopefully he'll either get another caution soon enough with the stage break, or there'll be another caution here in a couple laps, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I think this is kind of the first time we've gotten a little bit spread out, so see if we can run it out to the stage. That'd be really nice to see. But everybody is kind of single file. Tyler Curley already out to about half a second lead. Jake Collins trying to run him down. 95 in hot pursuit, as well as the 45 right there in the line. Kind of got the leader, and you've got this little 3-car pack, and then you've got another 3-car pack behind them. That's the 88 of Kendorian Davis, Wyatt Youngblood, and Reeves in the 67. A good recovery from him after getting caught up in that wreck between him and the 3. Already back up inside the top 10 in that 7th place.
Yeah, good to see all 3 of them. Ken had that wreck early after starting 2nd. It looks good for him to be back up there. Good to see Reeves up there in 7th after all he's gone through tonight as well.
We got potential battle looking forward for this P3 spot. The 95 with a mistake. Got to be really disciplined. I mean, you really have to be on your hitting your marks, or you really do overshoot the corner, and it just opens up an opportunity for who's ever behind you. That's something I noticed with that top lane too, is that like you saw the 45 kind of make it work, but the second he, you know, slightly over-sent it or overcorrected, I mean, it just makes it unreliable at all. Oh, the 45 upset now. He's gonna keep it straight. We'll keep it green here. The 1 with some contact between 88. The 1 was beating and banging here, coming to the end of this first stage. Everybody somehow keeps it straight. We'll keep it green here at Lakeland.
Yeah, you're starting to get to the point in the race where people are kind of being more aggressive, trying to see what works. They kind of know what works now. Now we're on a green flag run. Some people are showing more pace than others, and obviously showing a little bit more aggressive than others.
Yeah, I mean, this is you made a good point. I mean, it's the part of the run where people are gonna see, like, try to experiment. Like, can I get in the gas just a little bit more early? Maybe I got a little bit of heat in the tires. I can try something. And you saw with that 45, just overdid it just a tiny bit and almost caused a huge calamity. But somehow everybody gets through it clean. The 55 now upset. Gonna try to reemerge back into the pack. I mean, you're starting to see now that the age of the tires start to show. I mean, coming to the stage here. See the Curly's still having some internet issues, but take lap 50.
Yep, we got half a lap left to the stage break.
And Curly just checked out from the rest of the field, almost a 2-second lead over P2. I mean, Curly might already be your favorite to win here. Obviously, anything can happen here. We've seen it already. But there we go. Caution out here. Tyler Curly's going to win stage 1. Jake Collins, Zachary Beekman, and number 5. And Kendorian Davis back up to P4 after made up quite a bit of track position. But we see drivers come down pit road now. Take these fresh tires, at least for the first time for these leaders up front.
Looks like we got a couple of people staying out, actually. 2 or 3, I think.
Looks like the 67 and the 51 have stayed out. Looks like they both at least pitted before. It looks like 16 laps on those tires for Andrew and 22 for the 67 at Reeves. So the battle off pit road. 95 is gonna jump the 81. I think that was close, but obviously you see the 67 to 51 had to stay out. 13 of Chris Emerson to come down. They'll hand over P3 to Tyler Curley, and yeah, the 95 jumps up a couple spots in pit road. Good stop by him. Now looking at these times, Zachary Beekman in and out of pit road, 34.8 versus like a Collins behind her, a 35.5. So over a half a second quicker in and out of pit road. So good job by that 95 to, take advantage of this opportunity to pit. And gain some track position here. The lights off on the pace car. Take a look at one of our league sponsors, Admin Box. Make sure to use code PRS-box at checkout to help this league grow and everything else. But thank you to Admin Box for being a supporter of the Premier Racing Series, and thank you for every dude to, you know, help out. Once again, use code PRS-box at checkout as we get ready to go green. 67 and 51 going to lead us back to green here. New race leader. Seven's gonna get out there, but here comes Tyler Curley on the inside. He's gonna drive it in. Curley said, "You want to stay out? I don't care. I'm just gonna drive around you." And here comes the 81 in the one. Caution waves. Tough break for that 81 machine. See what happened to Jake Collins in this 81 machine. Yeah, just being aggressive on the bottom.
It just looks like everyone just got loose.
Yeah.
Cold tires, new tires, really.
Mm-hmm. Like the 81. You know, on the gas a little bit too early. Same thing with the one. I mean, these are two of your faster cars that we've seen. So, makes sense, right? Cold tires. And, you know, just did not want to grip up in time. And you saw kind of the 81 and the one kind of self-spin, kind of tandem spin together. So, yeah, I'm going to put it down to cold tires and just being just a little bit too aggressive. They know they're quick, and obviously we see these two cars that stayed out with these older tires. Maybe they thought they could take advantage and, you know, get past them as soon as they could to, you know, try to keep up with now your race leader, who was once again Tyler Curley, with an aggressive move to retake the lead there on that restart. See the 20. Getting his lap back. Going to get back on a lead lap. So caution, good thing for this number 20 machine at least. Brock Whitner gets back on the lead lap. Not race over for him. Who has a faster pair? I'm pretty sure under... No, he did use that faster pair, but yeah, still got a little bit of damage on that car, but not enough to worry. I don't think it's going to affect the way that thing drives. We see the 67 to 51. I mean, if they can continue to get lucky with these cautions, I mean, I think, honestly, this gamble to stay out, it might pay off for these two. You know, if they can continue to hope that these guys with these cold tires can, you know, spin out and do stuff, and they can hold on to maybe a top 5. I think this is a good win for them. You know, the gamble to stay out. I'm guessing that these two just didn't think they had the pace to maybe go run down Tyler on pace. Looks like it's gonna be hard for anybody to go do that right now, but this could work out for these two here in second and third. But with 60 complete, you see the lights on the pace car go off once again. And once again, the 43 will lead us back to green. Uses the top. And we're green once again. Good jump by the 43. Really good jump by the 43s. We're going to be side by side for this P2 position. And 95 caution out once again. Like the 13 machine. Chris Emerson having a problem. Got on board with this 13 machine. Oh man. It's a little bit aggressive on the start there. Gets in the back end of the 42, I believe that was, and that's gonna be a caution every time. So that will do it. The caution back out here at Lakeland USA International Speedway, lap 63 of 100 complete. As we have the time, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break and let our partners at iRacing talk to you guys for one moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live here at Lakeland Speedway, or USA International Speedway. Here for the Backmarker.shop Clash, presented by Backmarker. Make sure to use code PRS10 at checkout at Backmarker.shop for 10% off your order. Once again, thank you to Backmarker for supporting the league and being the sponsor for this year's Clash. Once again, use code PRS10 at checkout. The lights are off on the pace car. The 43 and the 67 Toyota front row. Gonna lead us back to green. And the Chevy Toyota front second row, I believe. Once again, we're handing this race over back to Tyler Curley. And we're green once again. Spin in the back there. That was the 93 machine. Having a little bit of a spin, but single car spin. We're going to keep it green here at Lakeland. We have a good battle for this P2 position. 51, the 95, and the 67 is, whoa, 95. Guys are way into the corner. Going to lose a spot there to the 88. Condorian Davis now moving his way back up through the field.
Yeah, all this while Tyler's pulling away. Looks like those two older tires of Tenold and Reeves are just kind of holding everyone up right now.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, you have a car that... Oh, as the 88 goes around... I'm about to say, you have some cars that are older on tires, I mean, and when it's hard to pass like it is here, it's gonna definitely hold people up. But we see the 88 go around. We'll go back and double back and take a look at this on the HVTV replay. '67, yeah. I don't know if he got a little bit sideways off the corner or what, but it looks like he just turned to 88. We'll take another look at it maybe from a different angle here for you fans at home. See if maybe we can see if there was a wiggle or if Condorian moved up just a little bit. I mean, that's hard to call. It just looks, I mean, in my opinion, it looks like a racing deal. Just, you know, the cars aren't handling that well, and fortunately the two get together. Fortunately, collects the 95 as well. You see Beekman up here. The hard hit from the 45. That's two of your potential race favorites there getting collected in that. So, I mean, obviously 70 to go. I mean, we're coming down to where, you know, it's getting down to where now there's not a lot of time to come back and get these spots back. You see the 13 now coming back, getting his lucky dog.
Yeah, Ken was involved in that one. Like I said, Alex was. Reeves was running up front on those older tires. Zachary Beekman was up front looking fast. He was involved in that. If I'm not correct, I'm pretty sure I saw the Age of Cervino was also involved in that wreck as well, and he's been really fast all night.
Yeah, Trevino's been pretty quick, but honestly, if he was involved, car looks pretty good. Unless he came down and no, there's no way he pitted. He sent back there, yeah.
He may have just barely avoided it. It looked like he may have gotten tagged somewhere. I could be wrong.
Well, regardless, this 8 machine up in P5. Take a look at his his chart here. I mean, it's kind of been all over the place. I mean, up here in 5th, this has been the highest he's been, but was all the way back in 17th at the start. I mean, so, you know, his slowly worked his way up to the field now. Under 30 to go. I mean, this is kind of the spot where you kind of want to be up here in the top 5. So, it's a good place to be. But, you know, you see Zach back there in P5, and, you know, a lot of these guys who were up here battling, you see the 88, now back here in 11th. Beekman back there in 12th. You know, Reeves, granted with those older tires, now he's back here in 13th. The 45 of Eskridge looked like potential favorite to come in here and try to win this race. Back here in 14th. So, a lot of new guys up here in the front. Gonna see what they can do. I mean, you see the 09, Nicholas Amos. I mean, he's up here in the what is it? 6th place right here. So, see Nicholas Road up here once again after, you know, he had some incidents earlier this race. So, a lot of new faces up here inside this top 5. And once again, back into the restart zone. The 43 is going to lead us back to green. 41, 43, 51. A great jump by that top. Jake Collins moving his way up in the 3rd. Nicholas Road. So the 3 up the track. Gonna lose him a bunch of spots. Here comes the Youngblood Arlie up here. He's up into the P5, taking advantage of all this. I see some 3 wide in the back. People just trying to be aggressive to get back through the field. That's the 67 up to 11th. So the 95. This is a here goes his front bump. Oh, he gets it back actually. My apologies. iRacing duped us for a second. But that's a big hit for that number 95 machine. Battling back up.
He was able to keep it going.
Yeah.
He didn't lose too much time.
Yeah, keeps it going. Could be worse, but got still some battling up here within the top 5. You see the 3 trying to run down this number 1 machine.
Look at Trevino up in 2nd. I didn't even realize Trevino got up to 2nd.
Yeah, Trevino working his way up through the field as we're trying to cover all this coverage and all this good racing. He comes up in here in the P2 spot. Remember Trevino, fastest in that warm-up lap and in the warm-up here during the night. Maybe he's got something under his belt to try to run down this number 43 machine. Tyler Curley with a little over a second advantage to this 8 machine.
That is one thing with Tyler. So once his element is being in the lead, with what I've raced with him, and like you said earlier, what you've raced with him, when he's in the lead, he's in his element. He's very good at dominating the race and controlling the race at his own pace. So at this point, when he's at his strongest, Cervino will have to come back from this, and we'll see if he can. It looks like right now he's running him down a little bit.
Yeah, they're about matching lap times around. You know, Trevino was about 1/10 of a lap quicker that lap at 21.0 to a 21.1. But I mean, this is why Tyler's so good. I mean, he's so disciplined. I mean, you can hear it, even disciplined with the downshifts, trying to not use up his tires, trying to keep this car underneath him. I mean, and that's the thing is you see some of these guys who push, right? You can tell they're pushing because they're driving it in the corner super deep, or spinning the tires on the exit. You see Tyler, I mean, he's just super precise, super clean, smooth hands and everything else like that. You don't see him really pushing the car, and that's what it really is. The fastest way to go around here is not to push it. You just have to let the car kind of drive itself and not push it. But obviously we see Trevino, he's starting to put a dent in this gap that Tyler put up to that 81 and the 51. I mean, this 8 is coming, and he's coming pretty quick. Now a 21.1 to a 21.2. So consistently about a tenth a lap quicker than your race leader with 18 to go. He's got the time to go up there and try to catch him and race him down here. The lap for lap right there.
Especially at a short track like this, it's just going to be about clawing away some time. Marginal gains, marginal errors possibly from Tyler. Just slowly chipping away at it till he gets there. He should have more than enough time, though.
17 to go. I mean, he's slowly chipping away, but we do have a caution. The 43 actually got in the wall there. So, I mean, AJ was right. I mean, no scratches, but he did get in the wall finally. That's the 95 down pit road. Don't know if that was from that.
Looks like the 20 brought out that caution. It was a big old lick for the 20.
I'll definitely take a look and see what happened between 20. Oh. We can find this replay. Looks like 20 driving into the corner pretty deep, washing up. Fast forward this for you guys at home. There it is. I mean, just loses off the corner. Big. Oh, wow. Yeah, huge lick into the inside wall, and he's going to tow that machine. Yeah, that's going to bring out a caution every time. I mean, and that's something we've seen throughout the whole race. I mean, drivers just pushing on, and especially out of 2 and 4. I mean, it's you're just getting the gas a little bit too quick, and you're going to be spinning out and putting yourself in a bad spot. And Dorian Davis decides to stay out on track. Does not decide to come down and take tires. 14 to go. He's only got 16 laps on those tires. I mean, if he can hold on, I don't think this is honestly a bad strategy call for this 88. We know he's got speed. We know if he's not in the wreck, he can claw his way back up into the top 5. 16 laps on these tires. I honestly don't mind the strategy call. I mean, 16 laps, it's definitely enough to get those tires heated up. He's not going to have to worry about, the cold tires on the start here.
And through that pit stop cycle, I noticed Jake Collins is back up to P4, Reeves is back up to P5, Tenlin's back up to P6 after that wreck. Looks like the 8 fell way back. I don't know if he got a penalty or what exactly happened, but he's fallen way back to 13th right now.
Yeah, I see him back in 13th. I don't see... Yeah, that's interesting. He had a 9.2 second stop. So maybe spend the pits. This is the best guess for me. But regardless, still, that's a huge mistake out of that 8 machine. I mean, it looked like he had, a car to race this, to run down this 43, but gonna have to drive through a lot more cars to get back up there. But now the 88 is gonna be the control car here, so I'm interested to see what this 88 can do. Can Dorian steal this win away from this 43? Tyler already looking at the bottom of the 88. He's already clear. And I don't know what these guys can do. Caution once again. The 84.
And there's a wreck on in front of that. Looks like Wyatt Youngblood and Andrew Tenlin's all involved.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's the 51. Take a look. Maybe it looked like just trying to... Looks like you maybe tried to put a his car in a spot that maybe wasn't quite there. We'll see. I don't know if there was contact between. No, just got, yeah, contact between him and the 67, it looks like. Maybe. What was that? The 51 and the 67. There we are. We find them.
Again, funny enough, it seems like they've been together for a while.
Yeah, it just looks like the 67. I don't know if he gets a little tight or just expects 51 to give it a little bit more room, but make some contact, and 51 just trying to save it. Unfortunately, overcorrects up and outside, grabs the 09, the 35, the 55. Oh, the Trevino gets into it once again. Yeah, just not a lot. Nowhere to go for some of these drivers. I mean, USA is not the widest track, so when you have those types of wrecks, I mean, for a lot of these drivers, just nowhere you can go.
Yeah, one thing, we're on 10 to go now, being at 9 to go, well, now it's 9 to go with the pace car. So I'd like to see how the aggression level rises. Obviously we saw Tyler get aggressive there in that restart and instantly try to jump back up front where he's comfortable. It'd be something to see if possibly Jake Collins can make a move at him, maybe send him off to the corner. If Ken can maybe do a similar move back to him, possibly someone like Reeves or Nicholas Rhodes can maybe get a move going.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what can happen. Right now, you know, Ali's biggest ally is this restart. He gets to control the start, and he's executed every time to where, you know, Jake or Kendoran can't even get to him by the time they get into turn 1 and 2 to make something happen. And obviously he's shown it, but whole race. I mean, we'll go back and look at these laps led. I mean, 84 of 93. Now 85 and 93, but you know, once he gets out in front, it's going to be hard to get around him. But obviously, anything can happen. 8 to go here. You know, if they're going to be aggressive, it's going to be right now. And everybody wants to win here. More, you know, obviously, Tyler, if he comes out and gets it, I mean, he definitely earned it. But they're definitely not just going to pull over and let him take this from them. So. Going green once again. Another great jump by the 43. Contact between the 67. They're going to sort it out, but they're going to be 3 wide here. They're going to sort that out. Zachary Trevino already up into the top 5 once again. He's going to start to pull away from that backpack. But looking back here, this battle for the P2 spot, it's between the 88 and the 81, and this 3 machine now caution out once again. Like maybe involving the 67. And 67. Once again, it's hard to see the perspectives up here. Yeah, it looks like that 42 gets in the right rear and turns him around. 84 spins it out, trying to stay away off of that. And honestly, probably the best thing you could have done was either slamming the damage to that 84. I mean, obviously the tires aren't going to be too happy with that, but no, not a whole lot that he could have done. The caution's out now. Well, we're getting down into green-white checker territory, so 4 to go. I'm interested to see it. We might be able to get a natural green-white checkered in. We'll have to see what the sim wants us to do here, but we're getting into that territory now that any more cautions, we're going to be doing NASCAR overtime. And remember, this Cup Series only gets 3 green-white checkers, so for people at home that don't really understand what NASCAR overtime pertains, it's if we do get to overtime, we'll run extra laps, obviously, but they have to at least get to the white flag to make the race official. And so it's a green-white checkered. We'll hit the green, and then if we can get back to the line, we'll get the white flag. And as long as we get to the white flag, the race is official. And unlike in real life NASCAR, there's no caution once we get to the white flag. It's every man for themselves. You know, the 88 could drive through the 43 and cause the big one, and we're not going to throw the caution. So, but we do have to get back to the white flag to make it official. If we wreck before your race leader gets back to the line, then we will throw the caution and we will re-rack them 3 extra times and use them up if we need to. And obviously, if we use all 3. Once we get to that 3rd green white checkered, if a caution comes out before we get to the line, race will be official. So whoever is in the lead at time of caution, if we use up all 3 green white checkers, will be declared your race winner here at USA International Speedway. Hopefully we don't need it. Hopefully we can get a good, clean, aggressive, and good finish here to round out the start off your season here for the Prestige Racing Cup Series. A Chevy Toyota front row, 88 versus the 43, and we're green. '43 gets out. That's going to be a battle between this 88 and this 3 car for this P2 spot. 88's going to get super sideways. And here comes Zachary Gravino trying to make this top line work. The 3's going to get clear. Take over this P2 spot. Now coming to the line. White flag in the air for Tyler Curley. Just has to get it back. Going in the 3 and 4 for the final time. Tyler Curley. Oh, and Mr. Lakeland, because he dominated this race and he's going to win the clash. Nicholas Road P2 and Jake Collins gets that P3. No, it's giving it to Zachary Trevino actually. Zachary Trevino, after getting that penalty, somehow drives his way back up into the P3 as we see some, maybe a little bit of a disagreement after this race.
Great run from Nicholas Road. I feel like he was not necessarily up front all day, but he was in contention. I'd say like 5th to 6th. Great run from Trevino being able to make it up through the field.
Oh, great run indeed by a lot of these drivers. Obviously, congratulations to Tyler Curley. I mean, he dominated this race, and there's no arguing that. I mean, we'll pull it up. We led a 93 of the 102 laps. I mean, once he got that lead, he never gave it up. I mean, and the only reason I think he didn't lead the other laps was due to guys doing pit strategy. So, congratulations to Tyler. I mean, dominant win. I mean, definitely well earned.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get him in here, maybe talk to him a little bit about the race.
We will hopefully be able to. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at your unofficial race results brought to you by HVTV. So we see Tyler Curley, Victor here. You see him burning it down in the background. Nicholas Rhodes P2, Zachary Trevino P3, Jake Collins P4, Kendorian Davis P5, Gabriel Galoy P6 on number 55 machine. Alex Eskridge comes out with the P7. Nicholas Emmons P8, Jeffrey Herrick P9, and rounding out your top 10, Reeve Simmons. 11's going to be Chris Emerson, Brian White, Andrew Tenold, and laps down of Justin Wilkes, Zachary Beekman. Tough race for Beekman. I mean, he definitely had a fast car. Same thing with Wyatt Youngblood, but just got caught up in stuff out there doing. And Brock Whitner, Gage, and Eli McDonald out early here at USA.
Now you thought about saying I raced. I guess you could say I raced.
Yeah, you registered for the session, so I mean you get credited according to the sim. But we will talk to your top 3 finishers. We just make sure we can get them up into the booth, and then. But while we do that, we'll once again take our last commercial break here for the broadcast, and we'll let our partners at iRacing talk to you a little bit more while we wait on our top 3 to get in the waiting booth.
Racing isn't easy. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the post-race show for the Prestige Racing Series here at USA International Speedway, or Lakeland, whatever you prefer to call it. As we get ready to talk to your top 3 finishers for tonight's race. As we get ready to talk to, I guess if you want to call it, the spokesman for your top 2 and top 3 of Jacob Quill. We're going to go ahead and bring him in to talk about Trevino and Nicholas Road. Well, let's go and talk to him. Hey Jacob, it's Christian and JJ up here in the HVTV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do. Hi.
Well, I think it's the first time we've ever had a spokesman come up here in the booth to talk about I would say potential teammates and issues, but you know, Zachary, I guess we'll start off with Zachary first. You know, didn't qualify, had to start towards the back, and drove his way up through the field. You know, it seemed like he had a fast car. If we didn't get that caution at the end, maybe he had a car to run down your race winner of Tyler Curley, but just didn't really have the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, we definitely had a bunch of setbacks that race for the number 8 team. I mean, Zach, I mean, he fought pretty hard the whole race. He, got involved in numerous wrecks, unfortunately, and he had to get all that damage fixed. And once he did, that car was on rails. And, with 15 to go, in pit road, came down, took right sides, thought that'd be a good strategy. Tyler's was on the same thing. So we thought we could jump him, but we couldn't. And we sped down pit road and basically ended the chances of a win, but he rallied back quick. Even though got involved in another wreck, we rallied back quick and got a top 3.
Zachary looked pretty quick. I mean, like you said, rallied back to the top 3. I mean, it was impressive to see. You know, didn't qualify, didn't really have a lot of practice, came out and was top of the boards here in the warm-up, and he definitely showed that he had the pace to compete here. But like you said, bunch of setbacks, but can't complain about a P3 finish. But looking on to Nicholas, really had a quiet day. Was kind of up here in the top 10, but besides that, got caught up in a couple of wrecks himself, but just kind of put himself in the best place to go up there and get that P2 finish.
Yeah, he was just the more consistent one all day long. I mean, I wouldn't say it was race winning pace, but I mean, it was definitely a good baseline for what we can work off of, and definitely saw there that, it was a very consistent race. I mean, he was just able to put himself in the right spot, like you said, time and time again, and It worked out for him in the end, getting second, no, third place finish, right? I forget. I'm already blanking
And
because
Nicholas got second.
yes, okay, Nicholas got second, right? Okay, I'm
It's one
blanking
of them. It
because
doesn't really matter.
yeah, I'm blanking. But yeah, I mean, it was also a pretty hard fought day for Nicholas as well. I mean, we wanted to come out here to have a good race, and I think we did that.
And you definitely did. And, looking into the future with Daytona, obviously, uh, kind of a polar opposite compared to this, right? I mean, besides the fact that you're definitely going to be touching the rear ends of other drivers, that's probably the closest you're going to get. But looking into next week, right, with the duels and everything else, what's the plan going into Daytona? Obviously, a lot more that I feel like you can do with friends around you.
Yeah, the game plan I would say is, I'll be in there in the 33. We'll be working together. Me, Zach, and Nick. We'll be working collaboratively to try and make sure they advance through their duels or get good duel finishes. And especially when the big race comes around, we'll put some good teamwork in. We'll try and I would say control the race. And if we don't, then we'll just try and group up and be where we can be. And when we can effectively collaborate, I think it'll be a really good time.
I feel like, I mean, it sounds like a pretty good plan, and sounds like you guys, I mean, obviously P2, P3 is a great way to start off the season. But before we let you go, anybody that you guys as a team want to shout out, any sponsors, any friends or family watching at home, anybody you want to shout out for these two podium spots?
Well, I mean, obviously, I gotta thank Zach and Nick for running beautiful races. I mean, I don't know, they're both really good drivers if they're given the shot. Some tracks were a little bit of a struggle on, but I mean, clearly today that wasn't a factor, and everyone is pretty much reset because nobody's driven on this track before. Um, but yeah, I mean, literally, those are probably the only two people I have to thank. I did absolutely nothing for them in terms of race strategy. They just ran their own race, and I was watching, and they did a really good job.
Well, still, I mean, you said it, really good race for those two, but hopefully you guys can take that momentum into Daytona. It sounds like you guys got a good plan of what you guys want to do as a team. So hopefully we can talk to you next week, maybe in Victory Lane.
We'll see.
Yeah, thank you. That was Jacob Quill, your team spokesperson for the two podium finishers, and now it's time to talk to the man of the hour. I mean, dominated this race, and like to get his insight on how he thought that race went. Hey, Tyler, it's Christian and JJ up in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got y'all.
Well, I mean, really nothing else to say but just a dominant race by you. I mean, you led 92 out of the 101 laps. So, yeah, it just seems anytime you got the lead taken away from you, only by pitch strategy, you took it back pretty quickly. But, walking you through that race, looked like Trevino was catching you on that last kind of longish green flag run. We got that lucky caution, but just walk us through your race, walk us through that finish, and walk us through the track. Obviously, seemed like you had it pretty well down compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a fantastic race. Can't thank Reeves enough for signing me to RSR on his team. I go back a little bit with them, like Jake Collins and them, so I know him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, in practice, when I joined, this is my first ever start in this league, so I got no idea how anyone races. I got invited by JJ himself here. He's like, you should run this. I'm like, okay. And like I got no idea how anyone races. So when I got top of the board in practice, and I'm like, okay, I got some pretty good pace. I'm like a tenth and a half over the field. I felt pretty good about it. But like I always say this, I'm a big voucher that lap time don't mean anything. It's all about your race pace. So I was kind of skeptical, but I feel like once I kind of got in the rhythm there, I felt really good. I knew we were gonna lose the lead through the halfway yellow. I just knew whether I pitted early and flipped the stage or I pitted at the stage, someone else would be flipping it. So I kind of wanted to lead all the laps, but I knew that wasn't gonna happen. So I mean, it was fun. I mean, I really honestly got like nothing else to say. It was just a really good run because I had no implications the whole race. I just led, and whenever I lost the lead, I just got it right back in the first corner on the restart. So I mean, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, you kind of put to a T. I mean, not really a whole lot to say when you dominate like that at a track like this. I mean, you didn't win it controversially. You didn't really have to put a bumper at anybody. You know, anytime you took that lead, they gave you the bottom and you just drove right around them. But you know, looking into next week with Daytona, obviously with your team and stuff and your teammates, what is the game plan going in there? I know some people just go in there and hope for the best. Some people really do hyper uh try to organize and try to, you know, organize what they want to do going into speed weeks in Daytona. Uh what's your outlook going into next week?
Uh, Probably just, I mean, the way I look at it is like team orders and stuff don't mean anything to me until about like later in the race. Like I'll push on like 20 to go. My biggest thing for me personally is saving fuel for whenever the stages are, stuff like that, and just being there at the end, right? And I know myself, like not to, brag about anything, but I know I'm really good at plate racing. If it's 5 laps to go, I'm going to be in the top 10 unless I got wrecked out in a big one early. I always put myself in the good spot. So I feel good going into next week. Again, it's just all about making it to the end, in my opinion. And then that's where like the team orders will be like, all right, let's get these guys in. Let's let a guy in line, like stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, you just kind of got to play by the ear. That's just kind of how speed racing is on iRacing because everyone just kind of goes. And, then the big one happens and that we're all out. So just see if we can make it there at the end. Try to get a good points take, and that just starts off the whole season. Um, you put yourself in a hole at Daytona, then you're clawing out of a hole the whole season at that point. So just gotta be there at the end, see how many points we can get.
I definitely agree. I mean, it's, in my opinion, always better to be smarter with the points instead of wrecking yourself trying to win the race, right? It's okay to get a P2 in points and move on. But besides that, you know, we all kind of split through a T. I mean, dominating win here. Um, Nothing really else to say. I mean, you came out here and showed everybody off. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for this win? Any sponsors, Finn's family watching home? Really, anybody you'd like to thank for this victory here at USA?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really got anyone that's really watching for me, so I can't really thank any family. But I'll thank my two actual sponsors through the game of Vast Racing Products and Ghost Energy. Those two guys are great. Those guys are awesome to work with. They're pretty fun having on the cars, so hopefully I'll have a paint scheme for them throughout this season. You guys will see on the broadcast as well. But got to thank JJ and Condorian as well for inviting me to the league and being like, hey, you should run this because obviously I wouldn't be here without it. So I feel right at home. I feel great around all the guys. I thank everyone that ran the broadcast. Everyone, it was a lot of fun. It's hard to find a league where you can jump in immediately after like in a second or third season and be respected off the rip. And I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels about me, but I felt respected. So, it's a really good feeling whenever you get to do that and not get like disrespected. It feels pretty good to jump in.
I definitely agree. I mean, as someone who's raced around you for a long time, I'll put my hand up with that saying as well. So, but we'll go ahead and let you go for tonight. And like I said, congratulations on this win. Hopefully, we can talk to you maybe back here in Victory Lane next week.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And that was your race winner and Tyler Curley when we talked about a dominating performance. I mean, nothing else you can say, but you know, JJ, looking back at the race, right? Obviously, we had a lot of wrecks. I mean, to say the least, but I mean, it's something you expect here coming to a track like this. I mean, you look at the Clash in real life every year. I mean, it's just a wreck fest. Everybody kind of driving over their heads, but you know, going to Daytona, uh, a track that everybody should be familiar with and how to race it and what they need to do. I feel like it will be a good race to watch next week.
Yeah, like you said, obviously, it's the first race of the season, not worth any points. It's kind of just that people testing the limits, how everyone else drives around it, who they can respect, who they can't. Like Tyler said, I felt the same way. I could jump right into here and feel instantly respected, feel like everyone would race me clean, race me the same way I would race them. Obviously, I know them now, and they'll still race me the same way. All of them I've raced with for many times, and they'll all race me the same way I race them. But now that everyone's kind of got a race under their feet, kind of knows everybody for the new season, we'll jump over to Daytona, and hopefully we can take that respect, kind of get maybe some drafting buddies, and we'll get cleaner racing.
I agree. I mean, that's the thing about, Daytona, I guess, as well. Is like you can either have really good racing throughout the whole race where you're gonna get those green flag pit stops and everything besides that stage caution that we're gonna get next week. Or we're gonna have like a lot of wrecks just from people trying to be hyper aggressive and trying to make moves. Hopefully, it's the first rather than the second, but that's just the way Daytona is. It's either usually a really good clean race or it's a 6 car race at the end. But yeah, Daytona is always interesting. It's the first points paying race. Obviously, I think with this clash, it really does show who you can trust kind of off the bat, from a clash. When it comes to like a super speedway, who's going to be aggressive, who's not, who's fine, just kind of sitting in line, and who isn't. So I always love watching these clashes and broadcasting them because it really does paint a picture of what's to come in Daytona.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's kind of just painting a picture. And obviously, we're at a short track that, one, I'm sure not many people would run. USA, Lakeland, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of an unorthodox short track. You don't really go there in any series, honestly, knowing it's deconstructed in real life. But then, two, you go there in the next gen with a custom setup, which is even more unorthodox. So, obviously, people come out there with the expectation it's going to be a rough race. But I knowing the background of it, a NASCAR that was a custom setup that probably no one's ever driven there, I would say that was a pretty clean race. And obviously there's other people that think there's a lot of cautions, but it was still clean. And now with that kind of knowledge that a short track like that was clean with that certain scenario, um, going to Daytona, hopefully everyone will stay in line, good pushes, and clean racing to the end.
No, I agree, and that just really puts the fourth right. This was hard. It was a hard track, right? You saw, even really good drivers that make mistakes and spin out and stuff. So, I mean, if with the racing how it was there, I mean, it should definitely be loads and loads better at Daytona coming into next week. So, I mean, I can't wait to be there to call it, and I'm excited to see what kind of racing is going to be put on there.
Yep, I am too.
But besides that, I think it's time to start to wrap up everything. So once again, you're watching the Prestige Racing Series over at USA International. And once again, I have to thank the sponsors for, who helped put this league on with Admin Box. Remember, go and use code PRS Box for when you check out with them, and also for Backmarker, a big partner for the Prestige Racing Cup Series. Go over there and use code PSR10 for over there as well. Also have to thank Team Foster for all their help as well. But besides that, everybody, once again, congratulations to Tyler Curley for a dominating win. But we'll be back on here, at least on the channel, on Friday for the AWS Pro Series there over with the Xfinity Series. And then on Sunday for the Sportsman Legacy Truck Series over there with the 2008 Legacy pickup trucks. But besides that, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator, alongside JJ Moore in the booth. And besides that, I hope everybody has a great rest of the night, and we will see you guys soon.